stars were dying one by one. Across the dark sky, burned ships drifted like ghosts. The Great Alliance fleet was gone, crushed by the alien swarm that no one could stop. Commander Errol stood on the bridge of his last ship, staring at the shattered remains of his world. The planet below was nothing but fire and smoke. Every signal he sent for help had gone unanswered. No allies, no hope, only silence. The enemy fleet filled the horizon, thousands of black ships moving like a storm. The crew whispered prayers as the lights flickered. Their weapons were almost empty, shields nearly gone. Errol knew the end had come. He gave the final order. Prepare for last defense. His voice was calm, but inside, he felt the weight of failure. Then, something strange happened. A warning alarm broke the silence. The radar showed a ripple near the dead sun. A wormhole was forming, glowing with orange and blue light. The crew gasped. Is it reinforcements? Someone asked. Errol looked closer. The ships that appeared were not from any known fleet. They were massive, black, covered with scars of old wars. Their energy signature was unlike anything seen before. Identify them, Errol commanded. The communication officer's voice trembled. Sir, they're from Deathworld 03. The bridge went silent. Everyone stared at each other in disbelief. Deathworld 03 had been destroyed centuries ago. No one could survive there. Errol's heart pounded. Who were these newcomers? Were they saviors or something far worse? Outside, the unknown ships turned toward the battlefield, their weapons glowing like the light of a dying star. And for the first time in years, Commander Errol whispered, Maybe. Hope is not dead yet. The unknown ships moved with calm power. They did not send greetings. They did not answer hails. They simply formed a silent wall between the dying Alliance fleet and the advancing enemy. Commander Errol watched from his bridge as the massive warships aligned. Each one was dark and scarred, their surfaces covered in strange markings that looked almost alive. The enemy hesitated, scanning the newcomers with confusion. Then, a single message broke the silence. It came through every frequency. In every language, human expeditionary force, authorization, engage. The crew froze. Humans? One officer whispered. But humans are extinct. Before anyone could react, the first Deathworld ship opened fire. A storm of plasma tore through space, burning hundreds of enemy vessels in seconds. The explosion lit the black sky, shaking even Errol's ship. The enemy tried to regroup, but the humans moved faster than any known fleet. They fought with perfect coordination, no hesitation, no retreat. Their attack was ruthless, almost frightening. On the surface below, landing crafts descended through flames. Soldiers in dark armor stepped out, tall, scarred, eyes cold like steel. They moved in silence, communicating through gestures and signals. Alliance soldiers watched in awe as the humans tore through the alien swarm with brutal precision. Errol could not believe what he was seeing. Who are they? A young pilot asked. Errol whispered, Deathworlders. Real ones. As night fell over the burning planet, human soldiers raised their banners on the ruins. The stars reflected off their armor like fire. Errol realized this was not a rescue. It was a return. And deep inside, he wondered, what kind of world created warriors like these? The morning after the battle was quiet. Smoke rose from the broken cities. The once bright sky was now filled with drifting ashes and the silent shapes of human warships. Commander Errol stepped out from the command post to meet the newcomers face to face. At the center of the ruined square stood Captain Mara Voss, tall, armored in black steel, her face marked with scars of many wars. Her eyes were calm but heavy, like someone who had seen the end of worlds. Errol approached carefully. You came through the wormhole? From Deathworld 03? Mara nodded slowly. We came from the grave, she said. You called for help. We answered. Her voice was deep, almost mechanical. She told Errol their story, how centuries ago humans were exiled to Deathworlds, planets so violent that even machines could not survive. There the weak died, but the strong adapted. Storms sharper than blades, beasts larger than tanks, those worlds shaped them into something new. We became harder, she said. We stopped waiting for saviors. Errol listened in silence. The humans' armor bore marks of hundreds of battles. Their ships were made from old ruins, reforged with alien metal. Mara looked at the burning horizon. We heard your distress call. The galaxy forgot about us, but we didn't forget the galaxy. We came not to save, but to finish the war. Errol asked softly, Why now? Her answer was cold and certain. Because death followed us home. At that moment, thunder rolled across the sky. The enemy had regrouped. Mara turned to her soldiers. "Deathworlders," she said. "We fight until the stars burn out." The ground shook as the humans marched forward once again. The new war began before dawn. The alien swarm returned with double strength, filling the sky with fire. But this time the battlefield was different. Humanity was there. From orbit, human dreadnoughts rained precision strikes, their weapons cutting through the enemy like blades of light. On the ground, Deathworld soldiers fought with frightening skill. They moved in small units, silent, fast, efficient. Every motion was planned. Every strike was final. Commander Aurel stood beside Captain Mara, watching in awe. The humans did not fight for glory or medals. They fought like survivors who knew only one truth: win or die. He saw a squad of humans run straight into a collapsing structure to rescue trapped civilians. None of them returned, but the people survived. Errol whispered, "Why would they risk everything?" Mara's reply was calm, "Because that is what humans do. We protect even when it hurts." Their weapons looked old, but their effect was terrifying. Energy rifles that fired soundless beams, armors that sealed broken wounds in seconds. Their technology was part machine, part mystery. The enemy tried to counterattack, but the humans adapted too fast. Every loss made them stronger. Every wound turned into anger. They learned the enemy's tactics within hours and used them against them by nightfall. As the last wave fell, silence filled the burning plains. The enemy had retreated for the first time in years. Errol looked up at the human ships glowing in the sky. "You turned the tide," he said. Mara didn't smile. Her eyes were cold. "The tide always turns," she said softly, "but it always takes something with it." Above them, the clouds burned red, a warning that the real storm had just begun. Weeks passed after the great victory. The galaxy began to whisper the same name: Deathworlders. Some called them heroes. Others called them a warning. Commander Errol noticed changes. Human ships no longer shared data with the Alliance. Human soldiers built their own outposts and guarded them like fortresses. Their banners now flew above half-liberated worlds. One night, Arel visited Captain Mara's command base. The corridors were silent except for the hum of strange machines. Humans worked without rest, repairing armor, building weapons, scanning planets. It felt less like a rescue mission and more like a return. "Mara," Arel said quietly, "why are you occupying these worlds? The war is ending." She looked at him, eyes cold as ice. "The war never ends. You just stopped seeing it." Her words carried weight. Errol followed her to the strategy room. There, on the holographic map, he saw human ships surrounding entire systems, not to destroy but to control. Errol frowned. "You're building an empire." Mara stepped closer. "We are rebuilding order. The galaxy fell into chaos because no one was strong enough to protect it. We are." He tried to protest, but she interrupted. "You called us for help. Help always comes with a price." At that moment, alarms echoed through the base. The enemy had unleashed a new weapon, a star-destroying device moving toward their fleet. Arel looked at Mara. "Will you stand with us?" Her helmet locked into place. "We will stand," she said. "But remember this, when Deathworlders fight, nothing remains the same." Outside, the stars began to tremble. The final battle was coming. The sky turned red as the enemy weapon entered orbit, a colossal sphere pulsing with dark energy. Every sensor screamed warnings. If it exploded, the system would die. Commander Errol stood on the command deck beside Captain Mara. The humans were preparing for one final stand. Ships moved into position, forming a living shield around the planet. Their hulls burned from earlier battles, but none turned away. "This is madness," Errol said. "You'll all die." Mara looked at him calmly. "We were born on Deathworlds, Commander. Dying is something we made peace with long ago." Her fleet launched. The void filled with fire as human ships charged into the swarm. Massive explosions tore across the sky, lighting the darkness like sunrise. The aliens tried to defend their weapon, but the Deathworlders broke through every line one by one. Errol's ship was hit. Alarms blared. Smoke filled the bridge, but he refused to retreat. "Target the core," he shouted. "For the Alliance and for Earth." At the center of the storm, Captain Mara's dreadnought pierced the enemy weapon's armor. Her voice echoed through every channel. "Tell them Earth remembers." Then the weapon detonated. A blinding light swallowed the battlefield. When the light faded, silence returned. The alien swarm was gone. The human fleet gone too. Only drifting wreckage remained among the stars. Errol floated in the ruins, watching one torn flag drift slowly across the void, black and silver. Marked with the symbol of Earth, he whispered softly. All hope was lost, until the Deathworlders landed.